What's up, everybody? Celtic Scare here, back with our video to get those 10s and 20 views. First, little tiny bit of housekeeping. I plan on doing a lot more stuff next week, the start of September. A lot more gaming on Kick, Monday night Assassin's Creed, at least Wednesday, my day off, day streaming, Friday night Fright. Need to start playing God of War and a couple other games. Pretty much, I'm going to hopefully streaming on Kick 5 days a week, which will eventually be uploaded onto the gaming channel. Speaking of the gaming channel, video games review. I've been playing a lot of random video games. If I were to switch over to here, like I'm playing Return to Monkey Island. I just picked up Eastern Exorcist, Sea of Thieves. I'm hoping to play Starfall when it comes out. I did just beat a game called Bramble, and so it'll be video game review on that channel. And of course, Wednesdays will be, or Thursdays, sorry. We'll once again get back my football weekly predictions, which is great. And if you haven't seen, I am rocking a Brendan Herrera shirt. Herrera, Texas 23, and that is because... Oh, no, I forgot to put the headphones in. It's one of my favorite YouTubers, one of the people who inspired me to do this, has done this.
That's why I'm running for Congress. How's it going, guys? If you haven't guessed, this is probably going to be a different video than you're used to. Today, August 12th, 2023, minutes before this video went live, I announced I am going to be running for Congress.
That is right. Brendan Herrera, the AK guy, is running for Congress. I like the AK guy. I like his content. And therefore, I picked up a Brendan Herrera t-shirt. I'll have the links to his stuff below. But because of that, I figured...
My old stomping ground.
I figured since I actually got my t-shirt to support one Brendan Herrera, we might as well just do a Brendan Herrera video. So I'll be reacting to the government nuked North Carolina twice. This also comes to the fact that I am a Panthers fan, so I do like that state to that extent. Which is actually funny because Brendan Herrera is from North Carolina. But enough of that. I have video games I want to play, so let's watch the video. Takeaway, AK Jesus.
Of North Carolina is known for my old stomping ground of North Carolina is known for many things: beautiful mountains, relaxing beaches, methamphetamine abuse, and plenty of...
Wait, what did that say?
For many things: beautiful mountains, relaxing beaches, methamphetamine abuse.
It's also bigger than England if you want to know how small England really is. Also home of the Carolina Panthers. Hopefully they win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. That'd be nice. The Hurricanes, which had won a Stanley Cup, and the Hornets, which enough said about that.
And plenty of rich history dating back to before even the founding of this great nation. What you probably don't know, though, is that in the 1960s, the government accidentally nuked North Carolina. Twice. The military literally dropped 2 nukes on rural North Carolina by mistake, and somehow this isn't something that we all just know about.
Yeah, I would think we would heard about that at some point in history class. Hey, we were testing nukes, actually accidentally bombed North Carolina.
So in this video, I'm going to explain what happened, how it happened, and why the Tar Heel State isn't a giant Fallout server. So let's start from the beginning.
Probably be better than Fallout 76. That's right, I said it.
It's the early 1960s, and I'm sure you're aware of what global crisis was center stage during this time period.
Cold War.
That's right. John Lennon. But aside from that, we were in the middle...
God, that was just god-awful from one of the greatest bands of all time.
...of the Cold War. The United States was in a global standoff with the Soviet Union, trying to stop the spread of communism. It was espionage, proxy wars, and...
Funny, I have 2 videos that had Cold War references in it. I did the fat electrician when he was talking about the M19, and now AK guy.
Scariest of all, both sides were stockpiling nuclear weapons like it was going out of style. You see, after Oppenheimer did the whole I am become death, destroyer of worlds bit, apparently flabbergasted at the idea that his big fucking bomb that was designed to do big fucking bomb things was going to be used against the people it was specifically designed to blow up, nuclear weapons were emerging as the super weapon of a new age.
Well, yeah, you can destroy you can destroy an entire city and make it pretty much a whole 2 to 3 states unlivable for humans for like 3 generations.
A nuclear age. An age of fear. And again, the Beatles. So you would think that the United States government, now possessing a stockpile of these weapons that could potentially, end all fucking life on the planet, would be treating these weapons with the utmost care.
It's the USA. We don't do that.
Ensuring that these weapons would never be treated carelessly in a way that could cause catastrophe and endanger the lives of civilians.
Oh, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
No, I seen our government. No, I'm surprised we're still here.
You don't know much about the government, do you?
Today we're talking about the time that America accidentally dropped a thermonuclear warhead on Greenland. Once upon a time in 1960...
Hello, fat electrician. We nuked Greenland.
During the Cold War, America would receive intelligence that the Soviet Union had upwards of 300 intercontinental ballistic missiles. This meant that theoretically the Soviet Union had enough ICBMs to be able to take out every American airfield all at once, meaning that America would not be able to scramble planes to go and return the favor, which violates the entire concept of the Cold War. The Cold War only remained cold due to the concept of MAD, or mutually assured destruction. Now, there's no longer mutually assured destruction, so America is open to a nuclear strike, and they need to do something immediately. Which is when the Air Force chimed in and
So we blew up Greenland?
was like, hey, I have a terrific idea. Let's take our new bomber, the B-52 Stratofortress, aka the Buff, which clearly stands for Big Ugly Fat Fuck. We're gonna throw a
I love the fat electrician.
1.1 megaton thermonuclear warhead in the back, and then we're just going to do hot laps around all of North America 24/7, all day, every day. And then if there is a nuclear strike, our nukes are already in the air, that plane will make a beeline to the USSR, and they'll return the favor. To which the US
Global warming. We found our cause for global warming.
government is like, wow, what a terrific idea. I'll take 12. They are now going to take 12 B-52s with 1.1 megaton thermonuclear warheads on board and just do hot laps around all of North America every minute of every hour of every day between 1960 and 1968. And we're going to call this Operation Chrome Dome. For 8 fucking years, the U.S. government is going to have 12 Buffy the Forehead Slayers doing death donuts around North America, carrying 1.1 megaton thermonuclear warheads, okay?
Like I said, I'm surprised we're still here.
And then they went ahead and decided to call it Operation Chrome Dome because nothing says we're about to put nuclear warheads on foreheads like the phrase Chrome Dome. You might as well call it Operation Glass Your Entire Country. And I know what you're thinking, but wait a minute, the Cold War didn't end until 1991. Why on earth did this mission stop in 1968? Oh, it's because we accidentally dropped one of these nukes on Greenland. Yeah, while one of the B-52s was going around the east side of Canada, the heater malfunctioned, so one of the pilots had the brilliant idea that he was going to open up the vent to bleed heat directly from the engine manifold into the cabin to warm them up. Well, it proceeded to get so warm that it literally caught the upholstery of the chairs they were sitting on fire, lighting the entire cab on fire. All the pilots have to bail out. The plane goes down, then the conventional aspects of these nuclear bombs blows up on impact. The nuclear part didn't explode, thankfully.
Yeah, Greenland. Sorry about that.
However, the conventional explosion was enough to spew radioactive material all over the fucking place. Because of that, a bunch of people got exposed to radioactive material, sparking a huge political controversy because Denmark, the owner of Greenland, comes out and they're
Yeah, wait, the Vikings did settle in Greenland. Never mind. I was going to say that doesn't sound right, but
like, the fuck? You're not even supposed to be here with nuclear weapons. What is happening right now? To which America kind of just replied, I mean, yeah, but also, we're America and you're Denmark. Fucking get over it. And then pretty much nothing happened from there, other than
yeah, the Nordic countries are kind of like France, badasses until firearms came around.
then America ended Operation Chrome Dome. Thankfully, however, this was the only incident in 8 years. Well, Except for that time we dropped a couple on North Carolina. And then that other time we dropped a couple on Maryland. And then that time we dropped some in California. And then there was that whole thing where we dropped some on Spain. But I think Brandon's going to tell you about those. So thanks for watching. Quack Bang out.
Thanks, Nick.
I did not expect a Fat Electrician like handoff tag team video.
I'll take it from here. That's my buddy, the Fat Electrician. He's one of actually my personal favorite creators and a great channel for those of you guys who also love military history. As for the Spain thing, yeah, we did do that. Dropped a couple of nukes on Spain, contaminated the area with plutonium, and then lost a fourth in the ocean for a while. The 60s were not a particularly good time.
That's slightly how we found the Titanic. Was they were looking for a nuclear sub that sank, and they were like going across the Atlantic Ocean. They just stumbled across it by accident.
For some of our diplomatic relationships.
The 60s weren't good to you, were they?
But anyhow, this video is specifically about the North Carolina incident because, to me personally, I think it's one of the wilder ones. Maybe we'll talk about some of the other ones later. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. After all, it's about what you guys want to see. Anyhow, back to story time. So the year is 1961.
You Adam Cole now?
Around midnight of January 23rd. A Boeing B-52 Stratofortress was flying over eastern North Carolina. This B-52 was based out of Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. The name of the base is legitimately Seymour Johnson. If you've never heard of it, you've just made the same joke in your head that everyone who was stationed there has made at some point. Anyhow, the
Because we're all immature idiots, yes.
payload that this particular B-52 was carrying was 2 Mark 39 nuclear bombs. There's some pretty serious hardware. These things weigh in at about 6,500 pounds apiece, or approximately 4 times as much as the average Austin feminist. These bombs had an explosive
God, he just takes shots at people. That's why I want him in our Congress. We need a man like this in our politics.
yield of 3.8 megatons. Doesn't sound too crazy, right? For those who don't know, 1 megaton is equal to 1 million tons of TNT. Not a million pounds, a million tons of TNT. The bomb that the United States dropped on Hiroshima that, depending on the source, killed around 100,000 people was only 15 kiloton. That means that the
Yeah, we've upgraded.
bombs we accidentally dropped on North Carolina were about 250 times more powerful than the one we used to fucking end World War II.
Yet North Carolina didn't bounce back like Japan. Look at them now, they're doing great.
And this B-52 was carrying fucking 2 of them. Something worth nuking once. So back on the ranch, the B-52 was getting an aerial refueling. Aerial refueling, if you're not familiar, is when a mommy plane and a daddy plane love each other very much. So the daddy plane, yeah, basically
It's actually not a bad analogy for it. I've seen videos of it. That's pretty close.
it's a way of transferring fuel from one plane to the other to make sure that the plane that's being refueled doesn't have to land. It can just keep flying. But it was during this aerial refueling that the commander of the B-52 was informed that there was a fuel leak. Ground control was immediately informed of this leak, and the B-52 was instructed to abandon the aerial refueling and then go into a holding pattern off the coast of North Carolina to burn off the majority of its fuel. The only thing worse than an emergency landing of a giant aircraft is the emergency landing of a giant aircraft with 100,000 pounds of fuel on it.
And 2 nukes. Let's just say.
Suboptimal. That, and if something bad happens while it's in the air and it goes down off the coast. So you get more of like a Spain situation and less of Nagasaki Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. The only problem was when they got into position to begin this holding pattern, they realized that their problem had worsened. They had lost something along the lines of 37,000 pounds of fuel in 3 minutes. They were basically leaking 2 Ford F-150's weight in fuel every 60 seconds.
Okay, the environmentalists have something on that one. I'm not going to complain there. The eco-friendly people, that's a problem. I agree with you there.
Yes, Americans will use literally anything but the metric system. The crew knew that
Freedom units for the win.
this was not sustainable and the plane was going down, so they tried turning back around. The only thing that these men wanted was to get back to Seymour Johnson. I'm sorry, I'm done.
I'm surprised he made it this long with that.
Promise. It quickly became clear that this
Also, this is now my new favorite college football player. Parker Titsworth. Fullback offensive lineman for the University of Ohio. That's it. Not Ohio State, just University of Ohio. It's a real person.
plane was not going to make it back to base. This is when they decided to abandon the plane and bail out. Out of the original crew of 8, 1 didn't survive the parachute landing, and 2 died in the crash, leaving 5 total survivors. Interestingly enough, the 3rd pilot, Lieutenant Adam Maddox, became the only person to ever successfully bail out of the top hatch of a B-52 without an ejection seat and survive. Not only did he survive, he went on to live a long, happy life. The plane itself ended up breaking up in mid-air about 1,000 to 2,000 feet above the ground. This left a debris field over a roughly 2 square mile area around Faro, North Carolina, which is like 20 minutes northeast of Goldsboro.
Okay, no one really knows that, Brendan. We're not from North Carolina. I know Greensville. I heard of Greensville. But how far are we from, like, say, Charlotte?
The debris, of course, included, well, the 2 devices specifically designed to level entire cities. So what happened to the 2 nukes? Good news and fucking horrifying news. The good news is, miraculously, neither bomb detonated. One of them was able to parachute in a controlled manner down to the ground and was found standing upright with his parachute caught in a tree.
Good job, but why does a nuke have a parachute? Like, I get for probably situations like this, but at the same time, it kind of defeats the purpose.
The other, in a less controlled manner, slapped the Earth at Mach fuck and buried itself. Thankfully, without detonating or even setting off the conventional explosives within the bomb itself.
That raises questions on their abilities to blow up.
So neither bomb exploded and no innocent people on the ground were hurt. It's no big deal, right? Well, that leads us to the fucking horrifying part that I had mentioned earlier.
You have 2 nukes that didn't blow up, stuck in North Carolina, 1 buried underground. That's the terrifying part.
This is the part that, for me, reading into this, made this particular case so interesting. Based on the information that was recently declassified in 2013, we now know that both bombs almost detonated, and pretty much by all means should have leveled that part of eastern North Carolina. You see, as you might imagine, there are a number of safety mechanisms on a nuclear bomb. Depending on which report you read, there were either 4 or 6 safety mechanisms on these particular bombs. Why there's a discrepancy on that, your guess is as good as mine.
It's the 60s, and they probably legit forgot to write it down. That's my honest opinion on that one. They just, like, how many? 4, 6, 6, 4. We don't care.
Here's the fucked part, though. All of the bomb safety mechanisms were tripped and ready to blow, except for 1. Now that is an oh fuck moment, but don't worry, it gets worse. The one safety that didn't fail was different on each bomb. That means there wasn't just one Chad well-built safety mechanism on this thing and a bunch of jank ones. These 2 doomsday devices didn't go off because of fucking luck. That's like 2 people playing Russian roulette.
Proof that there is God. That's just adding to my list of why I think God is real. One of my earlier main reasons is the fact that you have Samhain, which aka Samhain Day, which is the day where it's pretty much what the Halloween came from. Pretty much dead people, ghouls, they all come back on this one day to reign terror. And then at the same time, you have Dia de los Muertos, aka Day of the Dead, in Mexican culture. 2 cultures never met. Same holiday. Just slightly, one's happy, one's evil. But this adds to it. Also, Fabio getting hit in the face by a seagull on a roller coaster. That's on that too.
Roulette with 5 out of 6 cylinders loaded, and somehow both survive. Anyhow, the first bomb that was standing upright with the parachute and all that was basically intact, so that was an easy recovery. So the recovery team was able to disarm it and send it on its way to... I actually have no idea where you send a slightly used nuke that just survived a crash landing. But the government took it
probably into a new plane. It's USA. We'll just recycle it.
somewhere safe, because you don't want to lose one of those.
Again, damn, I'm good.
Second bomb was a different story. It had broken apart in impact and was stuck in a pretty deep hole that it dug by lawn darting itself into the earth.
Hold on. I have to mute. I gotta say, the balls on the guys who had to. Hold on, I'm gonna back it up. It's in here. The balls of these guys right here. Hey, we need you guys to get the crane, a U-Haul, and go dig out a nuke that's slightly destroyed. It didn't go off, but slightly destroyed. Christ.
Stuck in a pretty deep hole that it dug by lawn darting itself into the earth. It was so deep that the tail was the first part that was found, and it was found 20 feet down. And in digging around trying to find the rest of it, they accidentally hit an underground water reservoir, which couldn't have made their job easier.
Which is also, thank God it didn't leak because it goes right into the reservoir, and that's going to kill a lot of people.
Upon finding the majority of the second bomb, Lieutenant Jack Revell,
The majority? Not all of it. What, Brennan?
who was the EOD officer in charge of recovery at the time, was quoted as saying, "Until my death, I will never forget hearing my sergeant say, 'Lieutenant, we found the arm safe switch.' And I said, 'Great.' He said, 'Not great. It's on arm.'" So, yeah, that's pretty sketch. I figure now's a pretty good time to give you a little context for where we're talking about here. In the year 1960, around 28,000 people lived in the city of Goldsboro alone.
Okay, there we go. Here we go. Raleigh. There's the capital. There's the capital. And
Had these devices 60 around...
let's see. Goldsboro. There's Goldsboro. So it's around here from Raleigh. So that's our tracking point. So yeah, if those things went off, this whole chunk of map is pretty much gone.
28,000 people lived in the city of Goldsboro alone. Had these devices gone off and leveled the town, instantly the death count would have been 10 times that of 9/11. And most locals don't even know that they were one sketchy rocker switch failure away from it. So, like most Cold War stories of a catastrophic government fuck-up, we have a bit of a government cover-up story. Because, of course. So,
Because you have to have faith in the government.
the second bomb was never fully recovered. The thermonuclear stage of the bomb was basically left intact, although they did take the pit, or the core. This is the part that contains the uranium or plutonium that makes the nuke do the nuke thing.
Okay, thank God we found the radioactive part. I'm fine with that.
So with the core in hand, the government just called it good, left the rest of a nuclear weapon just chilling in the ground. Just a reminder,
You know it's on somebody's property, and they might never know.
a lot of the things I'm talking about here were just declassified like 10 years ago. Letting it slip during the Cold War that the feds were losing nukes routinely and then just leaving half of them around because they got tired of digging. Not a great look. The Army did, however, purchase a 400-foot diameter easement on the property and forbid any structure from being built on top of it.
I wanted someone to actually own it and they can go dig it up now.
Although they did say that the area is okay for farming. Farming on top of an almost live nuclear weapon. I mean, this isn't nearly as bad.
Burp. Sorry, I have a twisted sense of humor.
It's like Chernobyl levels of government cover-up, but it's alarmingly similar in tone. Now, this last bit I absolutely have to mention because I think it's fucking hilarious. It's like the perfect cherry on top of this story. This is the historical marker that marks this incident. This
Nuclear mishap. B-52 transport. 2 nuclear bombs crashed. Widespread disaster averted. 3 crewmen died. At 3 miles south.
is fucking hilarious. This was almost the worst nuclear disaster in human history. And the only reason you would ever know it happened is this little plaque that makes it sound like it is absolutely not as big of a deal as it definitely was. So yeah, that's how an entire section of North Carolina almost received a Darwin Award at the hands of the federal government. The same government that still has control over our nuclear arsenal and loses these things so often that they have a fucking term for it.
You're hopefully about to be part of that government, Brendan.
Broken Arrow. More like missing doomsday device, but, you know, hey, cool name. I know it's not our usual format, but I love learning about history almost as much as I love being able to share cool parts of that history with you guys. If you want to see more of this style of content, let me know. I think it's really fun. And if there's other specific things you'd like me to cover or cool history rabbit holes you'd like for me to go down, leave them down in the comments. I might just check them out. Be sure to subscribe for more and, of course, for more gun videos.
I'm just waiting for his little blooper reel where he messes up stuff at the end.
Darwin Awards, gun meme review, all the stuff you know we do. Anyhow, I appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
The hen. That is a signature of a doctor there, Brendan. Like, there's supposed to be an E, 2 R's, an E, an R, and an A somewhere in this back half. Granted, mine got awful too, but you don't see that.
It's the early 1960s, and I'm sure you're aware of what global crisis. The bomb that the United States dropped on Hiroshima during World War II that, depending on the source, killed
I'm surprised you said Hiroshima right.
about 100,000 people was only 15 megaton. Fuck me. Kiloton. No fucking point.
Yeah, so we almost lost North Carolina. South Carolina would have just claimed the rest of the state as their own, saying that they're the superior North Carolina. But yeah, I'm not surprised the government screwed up. But that is it. I'll have, like I said, I will post the link to the stuff for Brendan Harrow's government thing in the description. That's it. That's all I have. I will see you weird people later. I'm off to watch AEW All In because, you know, they did it in British time. So it's done. I have to rewatch it. That's it. Have a nice day.